where you're a media professional, you're either freelancing or already have a job, you're working on a couple of stories, you want to source and find out who to talk to, you need to first of all stop what you're doing and take a step back to think of your brand and who are you online when you are going out to either pick news stories or to talk about what you do or to expand your network or to learn more about the media industry in general. What we're going to do today is we're going to double click on that journey of building your brand through LinkedIn. I will definitely get more into details what this means. So first of all, I'm going to introduce everyone to LinkedIn. I know everyone knows LinkedIn. I know everyone is familiar with LinkedIn. But reminder would be helpful because more and more activity, engagement, stories, and media events are taking place on the platform. So you need to be aware of what is happening, where is it happening, and why should you be on it. The second one, or the second stage of this chat, we will be brainstorming with you ways to build your content strategy. So what should I talk about? When should I post on LinkedIn? Who should I connect to? And how can I basically tell the story? And the third one, I'll tell you a bit about my team. We have a team called LinkedIn News. Maybe some of you are aware of it, some of you are not aware of it. So I'll tell you a bit more and how we could help amplify your message. And then I will leave some space for Q&A. So if anyone has questions, we could talk about that. So introducing LinkedIn and why are we talking about this platform today and why is it important to really be on it and to be active on it today. So we have 1 billion plus members on the platform. We have crossed that beautiful mark a couple of months ago. This is huge, obviously. Why is this important? Because these billion plus members, they're CEOs, they're executives, they're journalists, they're students, they are freelance artists. So it's basically the representation of the global workforce on the platform. What does it mean for you? It means that this is a great way to engage and to find different stakeholders in different industries. This is the power of this platform. What we do and what we want to do as a company, our mission is to connect the world's professionals to make them more productive and more successful. So first things first, because we're talking about LinkedIn, before talking strategy, before talking about how to think of being present on the platform, we have to think of the most important thing, which is your profile, because this is what everyone's going to see when they land on you, when they search for your name, or when they see your name anywhere, right? They will go to the platform to look for that. And to make sure that you have what it takes, to make sure that you are ready to either connect, to start wider conversations, to get the sources that you want to get for a story, or maybe to start a business, for example, or to share your ideas. You need to make sure that your profile is set up correctly and your profile is complete, because your profile is basically the key, or the first basically door into any connection, right? So here are basically the basics of the profile. I'm not going to go through them in details. You can look at them. But the most important note and tip for me to share is how you want to think of positioning yourself. So what do I want to see? What do I want to expect when I click on the profile of Jeff? So do I want to see someone in like a professional in media interested in tech? Are they a journalist looking for new opportunities? So what are the 2 to 3 hats that you want to show me, that you want to be known for whenever I click on your profile? Having a job definitely is one of them. One of the hats is I'm a professional, I work at LinkedIn. So one of my hats is the managing editor for that team. But I also have 2 to 3 other hats where I am really able to engage and to explore, widen, to basically to work on widening my network. So make sure to think of, okay, how do I want to look and which hat do I want to wear? Profile basics, you can find all these details on the platform on LinkedIn. It's super important for you to complete it. So the education section, make sure to have it. Why? Because it will allow you to connect to people who have been to your university or who are interested in going to university, which means that your visibility will be bigger, will be larger if you have, for instance, education. Endorsement, skill, let me go back to the skills one because it's super important, the summary. So basically this is a paragraph where you tell us, okay, this is what to expect when you land here. The experience, meaning what were your jobs before. Again, why is this important? Not only for recruiters, but also for anyone engaging with you, for anyone who is who wants to hear your stories or connect with you to basically push any projects together. So that was a quick wrap up about profile. I will obviously not go through the details, but you could find all the information and all the tips on building a strong profile, what works, what doesn't work, and I'm here for questions as well. So please make sure to ask me if you've tried something and it didn't work, and we can also connect later if you have specific questions about your profile. I'm definitely here to help. So why creating on LinkedIn? First of all, it's because it is one of the main channels and platforms where all conversations are happening today in the professional world. 1 billion plus members. Again, it means that all CEOs are putting their news out there. It means that all senior executives are looking into who is active, who is not, who has the professional luggage that I want, that I'm interested in. It means that also people are sharing what they're reading. You will be able to know what the latest trends are in not only tech, not only AI, but also in media. So how are publishers dealing with, for instance, how are publishers dealing with hiring journalists today? These conversations happen on LinkedIn, so we have editors-in-chief talking about that. We have big players or even professionals putting out their stories. Audiences engagement is super important. Long gone are the days where LinkedIn was a one-stop shop for you to show your CV or just for you to have your professional identity only tied into what you do and the work you do or the work you're looking for. Obviously, that is way gone. This is still there. We are still on LinkedIn because you could find out more about me when you go to LinkedIn. But the most important development that has been happening in the last years has been engagement and has been conversations, right? So if you want to know what people are thinking, if you want to know what trends they're looking for or basically monitoring, if you want to know who is connected to who, it just all happens on the platform. These are a couple of numbers to show you a bit like the engagement numbers that we have. So 40% of LinkedIn visitors who engage with the page, for instance, organically every week, which means that members are here to go look out for news. Members are here to go look out for developments, for deals that have been taking place in the region. Now, let's look into, I think this is what is most important for you guys and ladies and gents, the content strategy of your own profile. I think this is what we need to double click on, right? And the million-dollar question you've obviously flirted with, that is, what do I post about? So, okay, I have updated my profile. My profile is complete, which is amazing. I have everything that kind of represents me, like as the intro for me. Now, I want to be engaged on the platform. How should I think of my engagement? And knowing that, we need to also call the cat a cat. It could be intimidating for people to show up and to start posting, especially if they haven't been active and they're not really used to doing that. So what works, what doesn't work? What should I be doing? What should I be doing less of? First things first, let's go through the basics. So basically, this is a framework that helps everyone to start their journey of content on LinkedIn, to divide the content into three pillars or three basically boxes. The first box is a reactive box. So you have observed something, you've been watching a development or some news in your industry. For instance, let's say like a big tech giant acquires a publisher, right? So this is like a news, like major news that happens in your industry, and you want to react. So the reactive content pillar means that I go to LinkedIn and I share my thoughts on the platform about this particular trend or about this particular news. Why is it important? It's important because this is where I would show what basically my background, because if I don't have this background, I will not be able to give you an analysis, or basically my fear, how will the user, the member be impacted, etc. So these insights I will not be able to share to the world if I don't have a platform. And most importantly, it would help me engage and grow my network in that sphere. And I know that many people in the media industry, I'm giving media example again, would be preoccupied by this acquisition, for instance. So let's start a conversation. Why it's important? Because one, we're making ourselves better by thinking together, but also it will definitely reflect on my work, because it will lead to concrete connections, or to connections that will lead to concrete outcome in my work. So the first content pillar is reactive. I see something, I react, I share my insights. This is very important, unique perspective. You're gonna hear me say it so many times today. Unique perspective is super important, because sharing a link doesn't really bring anything to members. Members come to LinkedIn, and we've been doing a lot of surveys in the past year. Why are members on LinkedIn? Members are on LinkedIn, one, to grow their network, to find jobs, to become better professionals, and two, and most importantly, they're on LinkedIn to learn. So if I share a URL from a news agency, which is a great development in my industry, so what? Right? So what did other members learn from this? What kind of insight did I provide, or did I share? So always keep in mind the so what. So I am reacting, but reacting is not, hey, I found this interesting. So this tech giant bought this publisher, and this is amazing. So what? All members have probably seen this, because this is major news. What does it mean from my perspective as a managing editor at LinkedIn, already working in news, blah, blah, blah. How am I seeing this development? Is what members want, is how basically you'll be able to start engagement on LinkedIn. The second one is personal, and it's a very important one, and it's also, there's a caveat and some nuances with personal. Obviously, up to you how personal you want to go. But when we say personal, we don't mean your personal life, although it's totally fine to put your personal life, it's totally your choice. But what we mean by personal is unique perspective. So I have, let's just say that we have locked a memorandum of understanding, or a deal. I'm taking my example with a media platform, right? So LinkedIn and some media platform has just signed a deal. So the personal layer here comes from me, basically is about me telling talking about the behind the scenes, talking about the difficulties of that deal, talking about my learnings from that deal, talking about how did we come up with it, right? The strategy that we see here. So me, from my personal unique perspective, I'm sitting here in that position and I'm helping lock that deal. So what am I seeing? This is what we mean by personal or unique perspective. But again, we also see a lot of members, executives share also snapshots from their own lives. And we definitely, these conversations are very important when they are framed in a way where you could start a conversation, right? The example, one of the examples that we use is, for instance, big CEOs having hobbies, right? Like some of them run, some of them participate in marathons, some of them, do pottery. I don't know. So when they come to the platform with the so what did I learn? What did we do from this marathon? How did I train for this marathon to basically stay? How did I manage staying productive and training for that marathon? These are the angles that members want on LinkedIn. The business pillar is pretty straightforward, obviously. So talk about what you do. So if you're producing a report, talk about the report rather than here's the story that I produced. Unless it has major breaking, you broke a huge story. you need to put context, and always put context when you're sharing any development or any update about your business or about your career. A big question, or like one of the main questions that we receive, is how often should I post, and whether the algorithm will punish me, quote unquote, if I post too little or too much. The answer is there's no straight answer for this, and it all depends on your audience, and it all depends on the relevance of the post. There's no such thing. There is such thing as being inactive, for sure, but there is no sweet spot that we recommend. We recommend that you stay active. Try to post every week, every 2 weeks, so your network is always is hearing or is interacting with your stories. And again, always make sure that you are putting out relevant context. So, for instance, if you want to talk about a story in food and beverage, for example, you do want to engage the food and beverage members, but you also want to engage members from the media industry because you have a media background, right? So always make sure that you're talking to both. The second tip is a great one because you need to use multiple formats, so video, picture. Sometimes we use like wrap-ups, like text wrap-ups, etc. Try to make your formats as diverse as you can, and try what works with your audience. Some, especially journalists, come to us and say, like, we tried, like, we know for a fact that video works for us way more, but we also know that now text is working more because our audience is basically engaged with the wrap-up kind of posts. The third one is add value to your post, which is something I touched on again. And if you have any questions or any particular examples that you want to go through, I'm here. So I'll happily answer these questions. Interacting with your audience is also something that is really important. So the journey of a post doesn't end with me posting it or me publishing it. If I hear or if someone comments on it, engaging with that comment is super important. Always looking at who is engaging would definitely help in knowing what kind of audience do I have on this platform, and is it what I want? So if I'm a journalist and I'm only engaging journalists, maybe this is not really something that I want because I want to engage people in my beat. So let's say I cover finance, and everyone who's commenting on my posts so far are people in the media industry, which is awesome and it's cool because it's my industry. But I also want to make sure that I'm reaching members in the finance world. So what do? I go to basically. I check out who is on the platform from my region, who are the CEOs that are on the platform. I make sure to follow them. I make sure I catch the latest conversations in that sphere, so I participate in those conversations at a later stage. This is an interesting one because it's basically gives you some tips about the anatomy of a great post. So why and how, what works, what doesn't work, and it's basically a simplified arc. So first we're talking here about how to build a great post, right? So first you need to start the conversation by setting context. What does it mean? Again, if I just share that, you know, my media, my agency or my company just did that. Okay, so the context of it, what are we exactly talking about? And this, the first one, starting conversation, is related to also having a nice hook to bring in the attention of the members. In the climax, we deliver like multiple pieces of content. So it's basically used as the first layer. You need to ask yourself what I can deliver here that would impact other people's lives. So if it's a story that only impacts me, it's great, right? But it's clear that I will not have any productive engagement, any good engagement around it. And here, let me just open a quick parentheses because we often hear the question about sharing, like, for example, being in conferences or having a meeting with someone, right? So these pictures, you know, it's very important for us to share behind the scenes. What am I doing? So I'm here today. What a great opportunity, right? I want to share about it on LinkedIn. I want to make sure I engage my audience in it, and it's a great opportunity to also show everyone what I'm doing, etc. But People will react anyway because people love pictures. People love to see people, especially people they follow. They love to see where they are. So these posts work a lot. But the tip here is to add context and relevance. So let's say all my feed is about me attending conferences and me being with beautiful, gorgeous, very productive people, and not saying anything about this meeting. This is maybe like it will bring engagement because this is the nature of people. They like seeing people, but it doesn't really. It will not really help you optimize your network. As in, people follow me because they want to hear what I have to say, or they want to know my updates. And if I give them my updates by just posting a picture and saying, what a great opportunity to be in the summit. I mean, it is a great opportunity to be in the summit, but what did I learn? How did I get here? How did I choose this slide, for instance? These insights are the insights that will help me build a strong community and actually build my voice rather than just staying on the surface. I don't know if that's helpful. I hope it is. I'll go back to the resolution or the end of the post. The end of the post, what you need to keep in mind is always have a call to action, something, either a question. Sometimes questions don't really work because it's not really the context, but the so what. So, okay, so I'm giving you this piece of information. I'm updating you about, something I've done. So now I'm back to you. Like either like a question that I heard from you, or a piece of like an insight I'm leaving with you. This is really, really important because it goes back to the so what of the post. So why am I doing this? Quick reminder to always diversify your formats. So use images, documents, videos. You will learn what works for your audience. And again, if I'm working for the finance industry and I'm a journalist covering finance industry, and I'm always just putting pictures of me, for instance, attending events without any context, the finance industry is not really used to maybe to absorbing or to engaging with these posts. Maybe I need to consider an infographic. Maybe I need to consider a document, etc. So that's how we think about formats. Hashtags, the tip here is please don't use too many hashtags because you'll be shooting yourself in the foot and it's not really productive to use these hashtags. So for hashtags, every time you want to use a hashtag, go to the search to our search basically toolbar and look for that hashtag. So instead of me putting the hashtag climate change, sustainability, climate change and sustainability, I go and I look for the hashtag, which hashtag has more followers. Because if I put it on, like, if I choose like 4 or 5, I will not help my post being distributed more. So be strategic about the hashtags, stick to a couple, not too much, and always check who follows them. So if I put a hashtag of Lean Schumann, which is my name, obviously no one follows that hashtag. So it doesn't really make sense for me to put it. At mentioning is very important. So mention colleagues, mention stakeholders, mention journalists that you're interacting with, or if you're reading a story from a journalist, make sure you also mention them. Why is it important? Because if they interact with this post, one, the conversation will be taken to another level, and two, also in terms of engagement, they will be opening up their network to you. So if I engage with someone's post, I will be opening up my network to them. I'm going to quickly go over our editorial products. So basically what we do and how can we highlight your content. But first of all, a reminder that, or maybe this is news to some, LinkedIn has newsletters, which is a very, very powerful tool from personal profiles to reach audience and engage a certain audience on a regular basis. Why are these super helpful? Because the subscribers to your newsletter will get a notification, a push notification, every time you post a new issue of the newsletter, which means that I will be, your content, whenever you have content out there, I will be flagged, so which means I will be able to see your content and engage with it. So for building an audience, consider having newsletters. Again, if you have any questions, anything you tried didn't work, please feel free to reach out to me later or after this. Again, I'm not gonna go through, it's fine. I'm not gonna go through this, the key features.
يرجى التوجه إلى المسرح الرئيسي. ستبدأ الجلسة الرئيسية.
Okay, so we have a couple of minutes. I'm gonna squeeze everything. This is about our live events and the possibility to have groups to engage members in your own industry or in the industry that you want. Quickly, because I know everyone will is going to the main stage now. A quick reminder.
يرجى التوجه إلى المسرح الرئيسي. ستبدأ الجلسة الرئيسية.
Okay, so short, at mention, hashtag. Again, I'm gonna say it. Okay, I'm gonna quickly go through that and feel free to reach out after. Short, at mention, hashtags, to the point, please, relevance. Okay, sure. Again, so these are the most popular topics on LinkedIn: tech management, business, finance, and economy. Again, we have been we have covered this. One of the main topics that we talk about is what's happening in my network, what's happening in my team, what's happening in my company, etc. So use this as a hook, as a conversation starter. Be authentic is always something that everyone recommends everywhere. So this is just a reminder to end the session with, because everyone is asked to join the other session. So if you have any questions, I'm going to end it here. If you have any questions, I'm here. Or feel free to reach out to me. I'm going to drop my email here. If you want to, if you have any questions, I know that people from the media, we work a lot with them, journalists, publishers. We're being super active here, especially to make sure that news is visible on LinkedIn. This is something that we're doubling down on, and more executives, more leads are using LinkedIn to break stories, to talk to their audience, and to make sure that their news and announcements are on the platform. So if you also work on stories, make sure to reach out, and thank you so much.